Hey guys, so Module 3, Lesson 2 today, we actually are going to be working on counting between 100 and 220. In the example I gave you here, we're actually pretending that we're using bunches of straws. So if you can imagine these bundles that I have here, this would be a bundle of 100 straws. Notice that it's the biggest one, and I wrote 100 below it. And then here you have a bundle of 10 straws. So I wrote a 10 below it. And then here you have one single straw. So I wrote a 1 below it. So I have a number here using those bundles of straws. Take a second to look at my number and try to figure out what number this is. How many straws are there all together? Okay, so if you looked at it and you thought about it, you said, well, this is 100. So I can write a 1 for that. This is 2 10s or 20. I can write a 2 here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 1s here. Because we know that when we write numbers, we write them in order of hundreds, tens, and ones. Also known as the place value chart. So we have 100, 2 10s, and 4 1s, okay? But we don't just want to stop there. We actually, today's goal here is to count from 124 to 220 using 1s and 10s. Now, I do want you to draw this out. So the first thing you would look at is your 1s place. How can I get out of the 1s place? Because we don't want to count by 1s all the way to 220 because that would take a really long time. We're trying to do this in the quickest time possible. So if I'm at 124 and I'm trying to get out of the 1s, I need to add a 1, and that would get me to 125. And then another 1 would get me to 126. And then another 1 would get me to 127. Another 1, 128. Another 1 would get me to 129. And notice here that only the 1s place is changing, okay? Because all I'm doing is adding by 1. So nothing else in my number changes, okay? And then after 129, I'm going to add 1 more, and it gets me to 130. Now my 1s place is zeroed out. And so I'm going to look at my 10s place because now we can count by 10s. So I'm going to start making my 10 bundles, which remember look like this. It doesn't have to have exactly 10 in it. It's just an image, as long as you know that that's a 10 bundle. So to draw a 10 bundle, I just draw a few together like this. And I would write 140. We're counting by 10s. Draw another 10 bundle. If you want to put exactly 10, that's great. Okay. This would be 150. Notice now the 10s place is changing. Okay. But our goal is 220, and I'm not there yet. So I would draw another 10 bundle. I'm going to start down here. I ran out of room over there, which would get me to 160. And then another 10 bundle. And we don't want to make these 10 bundles too big because then they would look like 100 bundles. Okay, 170. Draw another 10 bundle. That's going to get me to 180. Another 10 bundle will get me to 190. I'm getting close. Another 10 bundle is going to get me to, that's correct, 200. But I'm not there yet. I need to go to 220. And I can't start counting by hundreds, even though that would be quicker because that would take me over my number. That would get me to 300. And I don't want to go to 300. So I'm going to add another 10 bundle, which would get me to 210. 10, and then one final 10 bundle would get me to 220. And so I have used ones and tens to count between 124 and 220. So why don't you try it out with some numbers? Why don't you try it out with counting from, say, 145 to 200 and see if you can do it. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Bye.